Today in Bitcoin, we continue to see massive adoption news coming out of Japan. The Bitcoin ETF is delayed again, and some of the key macro factors which are influencing the crypto markets. Now, before we do get into the news, just a quick reminder that Consensus, the biggest event in crypto, is happening in May this year, taking place in New York. It is an excellent chance to network with some of the biggest names in the crypto industry. You can get $200 off the price of your ticket using the link down below. Now, the big story of the day coming out of Japan. Japan continues to be at the forefront of crypto adoption. This time it is Japan Railways Group. It is the biggest railway and subway operator in Japan. JR Group lies at the heart of Japan's railway network, operating a large proportion of Japan's intercity rail services, including, of course, Japan's famous high-speed trains. And it is used by millions of Japanese individuals on a daily basis. JR Group is considering the integration of crypto assets like Bitcoin as a payment option. Nice. Now, total integration would be better than just considering, but I get the feeling that their announcement of consideration would not happen without serious intent to actually move forward with that. JR Group is currently planning to establish a cryptocurrency company, possibly a cryptocurrency exchange in partnership with a major bank, and or possibly payment processing for cryptocurrencies, all to, of course, help them integrate crypto. Now, the plans to integrate crypto also go to their Suica card. This is the National Prepaid Public Transport Smart Card that allows you to use most public transport in Japan. That's metros, trains, buses, and the monorail. This would be the biggest crypto adoption event if it goes down, and it will be a massive nod of approval for the crypto industry overall if we move from consideration to implementation. And this is happening during the bear market, not at the times of insane exuberance of 2017. Just let that sink in for a second. This is serious. This is calculated. This is a company who has sat down, weighed up the risks, weighed up the benefits, and decided to pull the trigger now. That's crazy, of course, also considering that this comes just days after the big announcements from other Japanese companies, Rakuten and Yahoo Japan. And at the same time that the Japanese FSA approved Rakuten Exchange the other day, they also revealed that they have another 140 applications sitting on their desk for people who want to start exchanges. Look at how fast crypto is maturing and how fast it is growing. It is very exciting. Over in America, the SEC delays the decision on the Bitcoin ETF application from VanEck and Bitwise. And are we surprised? No. No, of course we're not surprised. This is what the SEC continues to do. The new deadline for a decision is May 16th. There are some very big players who keep pushing for the Bitcoin ETF to happen. I know I keep saying it, but it's really true. It's not a question of if, but a question of when. Barriers are simply made to be overcome. And this is what the SEC keeps doing, creating barriers for these companies to overcome. Do you think that we will see the Bitcoin ETF happening in 2019? Let me know about it down below. And finally, I wanted to discuss Tom Lee's list of major macro factors which are pointing us towards a positive market growth scenario. Now, this just adds into everything else that we are seeing at the moment in the crypto industry, but it is a really fascinating addition in terms of the overall trends that we are seeing, all of which, of course, can have positive impacts individually, but taken together on the markets could create a very compelling picture indeed. Some of the most pertinent ones, in my opinion at least, are more fiat on-ramps. Binance and KuCoin, for example, now allow for the buying of Bitcoin with a credit or debit card, and there is an increasing amount of fiat gateways which are being set up globally. Binance, for example, will soon be adding the Argentine peso So Argentinians can now easily buy Bitcoin using Binance. They rolled out the British pound and the euro, and that's just one exchange. Then there is ICOs, well, particularly the slowdown in the total number of ICOs coming to the market, but also kind of the increase in quality of the listings that we are seeing, much like in 2017 as well. I think that Bitcoin and Ethereum will be the exit currency for many of the profits which we see coming from these ICOs. Whether it be investors who simply want to hold the most prominent crypto assets, or if they're simply buying Ethereum or Bitcoin to then sell it for fiat to cash out. Then there's the equity equation. While the Bitmain IPO has faltered, we have seen different equity raises for major crypto companies like Canaan, who makes the Avalon miner, and Bitfury in the last few months, as well as equity being offered for key crypto companies. And of course, we are at some point going to see the inevitable equity raises for companies like Coinbase. It was rumored last year. They downplayed the rumors, but it's still going to happen at some point. Then there's the security equation. Institutional grade custody solutions are here today. It's already happening. Fidelity is here. Fidelity is rocking the crypto market and is aiming to make their service available to all of their US customers by the end of the year. Add in that companies like Coinbase and companies like IBM are also working very hard to bring out solutions for crypto custody, and there remains little to no barriers for many of the institutions that want to get involved. Then we move on to the weakening dollar. Quantitative easing just keeps happening. The government just keeps printing more and more and more and more money. And every time they hit that print button, they steal a little bit of money from anyone who holds that fiat. Well, Bitcoin, on the other hand, will never be more than 21 million. Add into all of this the unimaginable debt time bomb, which just keeps on ticking, and the looming threat of a wider economic recession if that starts to falter. And as awareness and trust grow for Bitcoin, it will be increasingly seen as a viable alternative to these weak fiat currencies. The interesting thing about Tom Lee's chart here is to see how much the industry is developing overall. All of these things, which were barriers, are being crossed over, and they're turning into positives for the industry as we overcome these one by one. Now look, even though that is all great, we are still price-wise anyway, far from the Bitcoin promised land. Bitcoin's at 4,100 today, hitting 4,200 on some exchanges. Now that's very exciting because that's a key resistance level, and if we can clear this barrier and stay above it, wow, that would be super, super awesome. But the volume is still not overly convincing, but the price of Bitcoin going up is kind of funny. Considering what's been happening in the past few days, exchange hacks used to push the price down, but we see that BitHum was just hacked for more than $20 million. BitHum, how are they still going, considering they just laid off 50% of their staff and have up to 2,000% fake volume? We might be seeing a bankruptcy from BitHum in the near future. Just speculation though, of course. And it does seem near certain at this point that Coinbase was hacked for $100 million, although we haven't had any confirmations from that exchange yet. And you know what? All this hacking keeps on happening. You know who doesn't care? Bitcoin doesn't care. Bitcoin just keeps on going. Make sure to let me know what you think about any of today's news stories down below in the comment section. But as always, I'm very interested to know your opinion. Also, make sure to check out the free course, Cryptocurrency Explained, especially if you are new around here, or if you know someone who's new to crypto or who's just getting into crypto, make sure they check it out. It's designed to help people get involved in crypto. As always, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, leave a thumbs up on it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new around here, and you can click the notification bell down below to know when I put out a new video. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.